Right now in game number 2. Sukenik at 13, Mondello at 12. There's already a lot of lands happening, and that's, as we've seen today, that's where Jonathan does his best work.
Well, we see Mondello has 2 lightning bolts and a blank to Sukenik's 13 life and a search for Azcanta that's about to flip.
Yeah, the transform on Search for Azcanta has been his win condition of choice today.
Exactly, and this just doesn't feel particularly close at the moment. This is something where we talked before, post-board, it kind of gets better for Sukenik, where game 1, it's path to exile or bust, but when you get the chance to take out some of your worst cards, bring in things like Celestial Purge, Sukenik tends to do a bit better just because he's able to buy time, and when time is all you need.
Right. You see here, there are 2 copies of Celestial Purge in Sukenik's sideboard. We've also seen in this matchup Sukenik boarding in the Angels, Lyra Dawnbringer and Baneslayer Angel in the matchup.
I really like the Angels in this matchup just because they can just stonewall everything. Even a Crackling Drake, 20 power, doesn't matter. First strike.
And you see Search for Azcanta, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to transform. He left a card on top, and that card is Lyra Dawnbringer. No hand for Sukenik, so he'll make the 5/5 and see if it can stick. Or not? Does he actually know he's going to pass?
He knows that Mondello has a Lightning Axe.
Oh, okay. Mondello thought scours Jonathan. Hits a Celestial Purge. Yeah, he has seen the Lightning Axe there, so I guess Lyra's not. But he still left Lyra on top.
So the idea here is Sukenik's trying to sculpt a game where this Lyra wins by itself. Right?
All right.
Eventually, Mondello may just discard the Lightning Axe to something else, use it on the Snapcaster and get frustrated, or just impatient, even. Oh.
Yeah, Jonathan Sukenik there, unstep, went for Search to activate Azcanta, did miss. It was 3 lands and a Snapcaster Mage.
Yikes.
And right now, not too much punishment from that, and this is exactly what's hoping to have happen. Lightning Axe from Mondello taking care of Snapcaster Mage.
But Sukenik does know that Mondello still has at least 2 lightning bolts in his hand.
All right, here's Crackling Drake. And the draw from Sukenik, not too bad. It was Cryptic Command for the turn, so it's a counter draw.
Never going to complain about that.
No, it did mean he no Azcanta this turn. So now he will look through Mondello's graveyard.
What is a random card off the top, if not just a Search for Azcanta activation that might give you the 8th land?
Land 8 from Sukenik. His hand right now is another land and a Lyra, so shields are somewhat down. But Jake doesn't have pressure as of yet.
Exactly, and there's a point here that now that Sukenik has this 8th land, he can even just go digging for more permission and cast his more expensive counter spells if he finds it.
Yeah, Jake cast Sleight of Hand, did not find much. Kept a card, but then said go, and now Jonathan gets to activate an end step search. Looks like we found a white card here. Likely that would be a Path or a Celestial Purge.
All right, so here we just see Sukenik, and the reason that he's just not developing this Lyra ever is he doesn't have to. He just needs time.
Faithless Looting from Mondello. A good top deck here. He's going to discard a land. But every turn that passes here is another Azcanta activation.
Yeah, this is just something where Mondello just kind of has to sit and stare.
And finds Runed Halo this time. This is out of the sideboard. A 2-mana enchantment gives him protection from a chosen card. And Jake actually just picks these ones up. It's finding that he doesn't have many threats.
So
Mondello
had 4 lightning bolts to Sukenik's 13 life, and Sukenik was just about to Runed Halo lightning bolt.
Well, I think part of the game that happened there is off in Exile we saw a Surgical Extraction.
Right.
And I'm wondering how many Drakes were actually still left in Mondello's deck.
Oh, right.
If we'd already Surgicaled the Phoenixes and the Crackling Drakes, and then you're about to Runed Halo the Lightning Bolts, well, okay.
How does Mondello actually win the game from that point? Right.
I don't think this was a premature concession. I think it was that actually Mondello was out of win conditions.
Right. Sure, you can cast all the card draw spells you want, but if you aren't dealing 13 points, you aren't dealing 13 points.
It's kind of one of my favorite ways to win is, you check all the boxes off and then they concede.
Yeah, that does sound like something just miserable enough for you to want to happen.
Clean. You won by you demonstrated your perfect defensive strategy.
Do we call that the Golden Glow Moth?
Look, they need to lose their will to play. Okay, that's the point.
You don't actually have to win. You just have to take more. They need to take more minutes off their clock on Moto.
Right.
Or just
that's
realize
very
they have
important.
better things to do.
That is the best win con, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you the kind of person who makes them play out the Splinter Twin combo?
No, that's dumb. I don't do that. No, that they can do that. I'll scoop to that.
All right. I
See,
just have
I'm the
to
person
find
who,
out
instead
where your
of
line
registering
is.
Elixir of Immortality, I'll find a card that shuffles both our graveyards back in.
Good Lord.
Look, I love this game. Let's just keep playing.
That is how I played Commander. And only Commander. Like, I can sit down with my pals, and Elixir of Immortality can be my kill condition in Commander.
Right, see, no,
but
it's not a kill. But see, when you have Elixir, they know it's a kill condition. But when you have play cards that shuffle both graveyards back in, then it's just, like, you're not winning with it. You're just, you're prolonging the game.
Right, okay, so my opponent's not trying to win the game, they're just a sadist.
No, I'm having a lot of fun.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, it's just once I get the game all set up how I like the game, then I just want it to keep going.
Look, I love this game. Let's keep playing it, else.
Yeah, and you need to, like, and if you have a good draw, you need to not play too many of your good cards, because then they'll quit.
Oh my gosh.
You just have to keep it going.
What does this take, like Boon Reflection or something?
Boon Reflection's nice in Golden
No,
Glow
it
Moth
is not.
decks. Yeah.
Maybe
you don't want to play the second, because they usually would scoop to the second, so you should just pretend you don't have it. If you play the second one, they always concede to it.
Can we change the subject?
Look, there's a whole art to this.
I'm getting grossed out on coverage here, and this is just a yikes.
All right, so Star City Games, here in Season 1, we're giving away tokens. It is the personality tokens. You can get yours this January and February. You get the full set of 5, including Emma's token here, the 1/1 Shapeshifter token.
It's so changeable.
It is. We are also giving out Brian Gottlieb, Jerry Thompson, Brad Nelson, and Jadine Klimperens. They get them with our Opens or Classic entry, also with a StarCityGames.com order of $20 or more. And so we do have the 1/1 Lifelink Soldier token. That's Jerry Thompson here. Brad Nelson, the second token. This one being an insect token.
Look in the background. Look how meta it is. It's a dead Brad Nelson.
Oh, wow. That's pretty nice.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hadn't caught that one.
Oh, yeah.
I do
He
like
put a
it.
lot of work into this one.
All right. We have other tokens here. We have the Jadine Klimperens Spirit token. Got to see that one for the first time on coverage. Here was Lingering Souls.
All right, so tell me something. Do you see X volcanoes and 6 mountaintops in the background?
Why is it Valakut?
Because she's the spirit of
She-
Bloodbraid Elf.
Okay, because it's
Of
dead.
dead Bloodbraid Elf.
That is a most Jadine thing to have her token be of her losing a game of Magic.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
Oh, yeah. Started working on these right after she got kicked out of the top 8 by Rebecca Adelman on Valakut.
We have 2 more. We have the Emma Handy Shapeshifter Changeling token.
Gotta have the Morphling homage if you're a shapeshifter.
And then our last one is the Brian Gottlieb Squirrel token. So you get the set of full 5 Season 1 with Opens and Classics or from the website. Game 3 here. Winner will face Dominic Harvey in the semifinals. Dominic on Amulet Titan.
Mondello being on the play is just so huge here. It might not seem like it, but just because Sukenik just wants time. So there's the whole joke, getting to go first is an extra turn's worth of time. But the way that Mondello ends up winning is just choking Sukenik on mana and resources by just kind of getting that turn 1 Faithless Looting, dump a couple Phoenixes, or ending up with 2 Phoenixes tapped and attacking on the battlefield on turn 2. And that's just something that Sukenik realistically won't be able to answer a vast majority of the time before he ends up in a range where Lightning Bolt can actually seal the deal.
Yeah, when we actually see Sukenik's strategy, I don't think he's trying to turn the corner ever in this matchup.
No.
We saw his win condition there was to cast 2 Surgical Extractions and a Ruined Halo.
Right.
Okay, which I'm all about. But this idea that he's ever going to try and win, I don't think's happening.
Right.
So Jake needs the initiative. You don't want to give him that card in time.
Exactly. So there's a point where, you either have to just kill him by having one of your over-the-top absurd draws, or you need to kind of make it so Sukenik never gets to establish any of his card advantage engines. He never gets to take a turn off for Hieroglyphic Illumination. He never gets to take a turn off for Search for Azcanta or Teferi and so on. And because he's having to deal with not dying.
Right. Kind of just priority here then on exiling Jake's cards. You see Celestial Purges, Path to Exiles. Sukenik was the last undefeated player in the tournament. He was the winner of the first round today, improving to 10-0.
Are those Marshall headphones? Do you know if Sukenik plays guitar?
I don't know.
Me either. Now I have to ask, though.
You'd like to play one round of standard or modern? Please come see us at the side events registration stage.
Mondello. So Sukenik was the last undefeated player. Mondello was actually the player to be at the top of the standings at the end of today. He was the only player at 2 rounds out to be 12-1. Was able to scoop draw into top 8.
Do you know who he conceded to?
I believe he traveled here with Ross Merriam, so I believe that was the man.
Oh, right.
That may have been the draw. Not sure. And Jake on the play. Both players on 7. He'll start on Serum Visions.
Got to get those bottom stacked correctly.
I like that. You got to get every percentage possible.
All right, if I never shuffle my deck between now and then.
Well, we actually saw Sukenik win a game just a few rounds ago where he milled out his Izzet Phoenix opponent in Game 3.
What?
Oh, yeah, it was nice.
Oh, my.
Pika went down to 3 cards in deck. And he had an active Pyromancer Ascension, but couldn't close it because he had boarded out the 4th Lightning Bolts. There were no threats left.
Oh, my gosh. Mondello holding the pen, ready to account for the shock.
Sukenik just going to take the 1.
Andrew Escobedo and Ross McGee, please report to the main event stage for Class.
And is that a no second land from Mondello? That's why we saw bottom off Serum Visions. He kept a 1-lander, and he has not converted yet. Does here.
All
Shocks
right.
into Thing in the Ice.
All right, we have a game.
Yeah,
we have a game.
We have a game, but it's a big cost. You see this Logic Knot from Sukenik is live to be a counterspell because of the stumble.
Let me rephrase. We technically have a game.
Yeah, we'll see how much. I mean, Mondello kept a 1-lander on the play, and a player of his strength isn't going to do that unless his hand has a lot going for it.
Exactly.
More than just a Thing in the Ice.
Right. No, you're not just going, you know what? I should risk thousands of dollars on drawing a land for an 0-4.
I mean, if I draw a land, the hand's fine. Boom, keep.
What about 2 Thing in the Ice?
And he draw the 3rd land. So, back online, we'll see if this earns a counter spell from Jake. Looks like we have Lightning Helix, some lands,
Looks like a Path to Exile hanging out in there.
Path Celestial Purge.
Sukenik's in a rough spot where he might actually just need to slow down a little bit because the Path is the only thing here that checks this Thing in the Ice. And if it turns out Mondello's hand was 2 Thing in the Ices and then something along the lines of a Dispel to protect one of them, then this could all fall apart if Sukenik goes for that Path and it gets countered.
Well, I'm interested in this Field of Ruin that Sukenik's doing. Maybe that's why he's pausing, as to whether you want to get a Plains for Path to Exile or a red to unlock your 3rd color of mana.
Right.
Not clear which one is the better play here.
No.
There's a lot going on.
It's pretty tough, but you're likely just going to have to go for the mountain in order to try and maximize the number of blue sources you have on the table. If you end up getting a white source here, then you're still going to need a red source later on.
Yeah.
And if you can function, you kind of just need to go for that. And when Sukenik already has a Cryptic Command hiding out in his hand, he just needs to prioritize being able to cast spells rather than being able to double spell necessarily.
Yeah, it does mean that the Path, if it's in his hand, he can't Path right now. He has to delay a turn.
Right.
We see Mana Morphos from Jake. He actually was able to have 2 mana because of the timing on that Field of Ruin out of Sukenik.
Yes.
Jake floats a mana in response to field, resolves it, then taps this mountain for 2.
It looks like he picked up another Manamorphose. He might just go to flip Thing in the Ice right now.
Right, transform could happen.
Grow it out of bolt range while he still can. Or double bolt range, excuse me.
Right, another Manamorphose. Double red is what he calls. Third Manamorphose, just the fairest of magic. This time he changes a red mana into a blue mana. And draws Thought Scour, so he is live
Rewarded.
to transform. Thought Scour, he'll target himself, transforms Thing in the Ice into a 7/8. Now this is still a freshly cast Thing in the Ice, so no attack going to happen here.
This also lets Sukenik know that the shields are down.
Yeah, and not Jake passes, the red mana clears out of his mana pool. We go back over to Sukenik. And he does have a Path to Exile, you see at the front of the hand there. So an answer to the Awoken Horror. But what he's lacking here is actual card advantage. He just has removal spells in land at the moment.
Well, there is kind of a point that's nice where Mondello does have to take time to just find more threats over time. It's not a given that Mondello is just going to be able to develop something else this next turn.
Yeah. So you kind of pass away the Thing in the Ice. That means that Cryptic Command is down for a turn.
Sukenik can just dodge another threat for a turn.
Right.
He's got to be feeling pretty good about it. You know, we say that he doesn't have any of his card advantage engines at play, but Cryptic Command is a source that both answers and digs him deeper towards something.
Yeah, he has Cryptic Command and Celestial Purge still available. Though Purge would cost him 3 life this turn.
So would a hit from an Arclight Phoenix, so it washes.
Right. Actually, Sukenik has a Hallowed Fountain in play and another one in hand. I don't actually think he can fetch for he doesn't play a Sacred Foundry, so I don't believe he can fetch for a white mana here.
Wow.
So that's Mondello doesn't know that here, but he can't purge on this turn. And you see Crackling Drake, if Sukenik had, you might see him make the play here.
Oh wow, yeah, no, this is definitely a spew on mana.
And Sukenik fetching, is he gonna find that out?
The jig is up.
Yeah, just Steam Vents. Just Steam Vents tapped. Yeah, he knew it too. You saw, there wasn't a, should I get a white source here? It's a, no, there isn't one.
Oh yeah, he didn't go looking. You don't forget to put one of the Shocklands in your tricolor deck. That's a choice.
6 p.m. Modern Turbo players, your pairings are making their way to the pairings board.
So that's going to resolve Mondello draws. Back to Sukenik we go. Because of this awkward mana issues, that Field of Ruin, this fetch, he just keeps being in situations where he can't leave up Cryptic Command.
Yeah, maybe it would have cost a little bit more life, but there's a strong chance he maybe should have just considered Shocking and Hallowed Fountain instead of playing the Scalding Tarn there.
Yeah, Shocking and Hallowed Fountain, that previous turn, he could have fielded for a Plains and fired off the path right there and hoped to make the red mana work out.
Yeah.
There's some risk, and he seems like, if you watch him play all day, Jonathan has just not been about risk at any point.
Yep, exactly. And there is a point where that may have been a little bit better if he just thought, these Helixes aren't actually that great earlier in the game. They don't one-for-one most of Mondello's threats anyway.
A fetch shock from Mondello. So he kind of plays a tap land and passes back. So Mondello will get to attack with Crackling Drake. Take a look at this graveyard here. Looks like we have 5 instants and sorceries. A 6th one hanging out. Well, there's a card hanging out in exile. That's Thing in the Ice. So it's a 5/4 at the moment.
That's a big hit, but Sukenik can't really afford to tap out if he's afraid of Mondello playing some other big threat.
And a lot of lightning bolts in the hand for Mondello. So he's going to attack in. Looks like just for 5. So Sukenik to 13.
No, oh, we've seen this one before.
Is it another Crackling Drake? It is, but this time Sukenik is at the ready with Cryptic Command. Counter and draw.
Ooh, and this also lets Sukenik know that Mondello doesn't have a Dispel or a Spell Pierce.
Right. Supreme Verdict picked up that turn for Sukenik. So now he has some clean answers, right? We have Lightning Helix, Celestial Purge, Supreme Verdict.
We even have Negate backup from the looks
Yeah.
of things.
See which one Sukenik goes for here.
It's a little bit tough because you do have to choose what it is you're afraid of your opponent having, because now Sukenik is kind of leaving himself cold to Thing in the Ice. But on the other hand, he's just kind of playing a numbers game where Mondello hasn't drawn a Phoenix yet, so he's holding the Purge to try and just permanently answer a Phoenix.
That makes sense. He has the Purge in hand. He used both his white mana here, so the Purge would be still on the untap.
Right.
But you're right. Because he has left, he's Supreme Verdict there, his removal spells being Celestial Purge and Lightning Helix means he can't answer Thing in the Ice. Now Jake's going to just hardcast a Arclight Phoenix and attack in for 3. And again, Jonathan's mana is costing him life points.
It's just a good, honest Lava Spike.
Does have 2 ways to clean up the Phoenix here, however. Jonathan's at 10. He'll pass. Looks like another Arclight Phoenix picked up for Jake.
Starting to reach the point where, you touched on those card advantage engines before. This is actually starting to become a problem because Sukenik's drawn a lot of lands and nothing to really do with those lands. We talked about him having mana issues, but it's color mana issues, not quantity of mana issues.
Right, a Purge on the Arclight Phoenix. I mean, this feels like a lot of the previous games we've seen Jonathan play, except where's the Azcanta?
Yes, exactly. Where's that? Where's Teferi? Where's Hieroglyphic Illumination? Where's something that actually pulls you ahead?
And Jake passes. Jonathan's at 10, and Jake has a 5-card hand. There are, I know there's at least 2 Lightning Bolts. There might even be 3.
Well, the nice thing about Bolt is Helix kind of counters one of them.
Right.
Saying nice thing might be a little bit of a misnomer.
Here is a 4-mana play from Jake. It's another Arclight Phoenix. And that may get the Lightning Helix out of Sukenik's hand.
Yeah, at this point it's effectively gaining 6 life instead of just 3.
Helix at the Phoenix before attacks, and that's going to happen. Both players go to 13. Now next turn, Jake does have the ability to bring back that Phoenix. He has a Faithless Looting in the graveyard as well as a ton of cards in hand. Basic land check. I believe Jake has 1 island left.
This is the point where Sukenik's honestly just deck thinning a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point he is going to hit some business cards here. Both players know it, so there is pressure on Jake's side. He's choosing his moment very carefully here. I think once he sees a Teferi or an Azcanta, that's about when it's go time.
Exactly. There's just sort of a moment where you go, all right, well, it's now or never, and the more cards we give Sukenik, the less likely it is that it's now.
4 p.m. Modern Challenge players, your round 3 pairings are being posted. 4 p.m. Modern Challenge players, your round 3 pairings are being posted.
And back over to Jonathan we go. He picks up a land. His hand still has a negate in it, but no help.
That's about all.
Yeah. Thing in the Ice to pick up for Jake. It's going to be Surgical Extraction, assuming on Arclight Phoenix. And in response, Jake's going to Surgical his own Arclight Phoenixes, and Jonathan will negate that.
This is a big fight.
Both players at 11. Yeah, so the idea is that Jake would Surgical his own Phoenixes in response and just remove the one that was being targeted. And now with both players 11, we see something that's a little dicey. It's 3 Lightning Bolts in Jake's hand.
And a Thing in the Ice. That's
And
so close to flipping a Thing in the Ice.
And a Faithless Looting. We're real close to having this be lethal.
Yeah, this is cooking with gas.
And John looking through the deck, just how many cards are immediate outs. The 4th Bolt's in there, you just saw it.
Oh, no.
And that's an exciting surgical extraction. So, all right, he's at 2. A virtual 2. Jonathan doesn't even have cards in hand. He's empty-handed here.
Right. So his best draw is probably going to involve hieroglyphic illumination into something.
Is there any reason, on Jake's side, I almost want to just play this thing in the ice and immediately upstairs all the lightning bolts just to make it transform. Now, maybe that's too greedy here.
Oh, no.
But
I'm not positive we want to blow this Faithless Leading. As we know, there isn't a single card that
improves.
that answers Thing in the Ice, but not Awoken Horror.
I don't want to discard any of these lightning bolts. Faithless Leading's just milling me for 2.
Oh, exactly. I want to know that all these lightning bolts are going to resolve. The other thing to consider here, the reason you normally hold them is to turn off one of the angels out of Sukenik's deck, but just casting a Faithless Looting bounces them.
Jonathan draws and says go. Jake decides it is not yet time for the lightning bolts. And he's trading draw steps here. He picks up a land, so I think he's going to go for a Faithless Looting now. Because he has at least one card he wants to get rid of. So draws 2, removes 1. He's picked up a red card. Discards 2 lands.
Smart.
I think it's another Faithless Looting. So here's a bolt. Jonathan to 8. I think he's going for the win. Another bolt. That last card, I think, is a Faithless Looting. It's not all the bolts.
Oh,
He didn't find the 4th bolt, did he? He doesn't have the mana for the 4th bolt.
Whatever is he to do?
Jonathan to 5. Last bolt puts Jonathan to 2. Transforms into Awoken Horror. And Jonathan has a land and extends the handshake. It is Jake Mondello. He calls on the draw step, and Jonathan didn't have it. So 2-1. Jake is your winner here.
Oh, my gosh.